Look, I can get away with growing Natal plums here, even though I've got quite cold winters with heavy frosts. You can see here that the Natal plum has died down to ground level. As long as it's in a pot or the soil or in the ground, it can be in the pot or in the ground, but as long as the soil isn't so cold that it will freeze the plant to death, you can get away with growing them in quite cold climates. It'll come up from the root again. It's coming up from the root already. Can you see down below? It's just starting to come up. It's spring now. I'll just give you a better view. This one grew quite well last year, but of course it died down in the cold weather. And now it's coming up down below. Coming up down below. There are the new leaves there. My lovely Natal plum. I've grown them before. You can get them to a really good size in a bucket. There's another. As you can see, it all died back. I just cut it back recently, or I cut off all the dead wood. So all that top wood is dead, but it's coming up from the base. That means once they get to a good size and well established, they'll still bloom in summer and they'll still have fruits. Oh, quite sharp, aren't they? You can see where this was last summer. Here's a long branch that I didn't cut off. It's a long Natal plum branch, so it'll be like that again in a month or so. So you can get away with it. Good healthy shoots there coming up from down below. I'm going to water and feed them well so that they grow very fast. So it's possible to grow Natal plums in a cold climate, provided the roots aren't frozen to death. So even once it dies back, to avoid the roots being frozen to death in winter time, you can put it in a pot and say, well, you could even bring it indoors if it were really cold. Or if it's in the ground, you could cover it in heavy mulch to keep the frost off it so the soil wouldn't freeze around it. That's one way. There's another little shoot coming up there. Yes, these are all pistachio nutshells. Pistachio nutshells that we use for mulch. If it were in the ground, you could cover it with heavy mulch to keep the roots warm. That's one way. Another way is if it's in a pot, you put it on a veranda. I put this pot on a veranda so it wouldn't be subject to direct frost. They were cold, they got burnt, but the roots weren't burnt, so they're coming back alive, which makes me happy. Let's hope we get some nice blooms. I'll come back when they're blooming and happy again. See ya.